Welcome to GZR Ground Zero Radio. Well, the sun just went down in lovely, lovely Costa Mesa, Newport Beach area. And we want to thank our listening audience, to all of you who are listening around the globe and locally. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight and every Monday night, 7 to 9 p.m. Tonight's special guest at the 8 o'clock hour is John Heussenstamm. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. Glad to be here. Thank you.
Oh. Yes, John, thank you so much for being here. Voted by OC Registers, A Taste of Orange County, 3 years in a row as Best Entertainment for Saturday night shows at the Studio Cafe in Balboa. Now, listen, this John's musical journey and history and accolades are so many, it would take up the entire hour for me to just read that off. John is also known as Johnny Malibu from back in the day when he played with the Surf Punks, and also he spent a lot of time in Australia as well, touring with his own bands and also with Denise Williams' band. They opened.
That was in America.
Oh, that was in America. That was in America.
Denise
not
Williams.
Australia.
Yeah.
And thank you for the thank
You're
you.
Welcome.
Yeah. For those of you familiar with that era of music, they opened for KOCI and the Sunshine Band and Earth, Wind, and Fire. And that's where he picked up the name Johnny Malibu, performing with the Surf Punks.
Mm-hmm.
My Beach.
Boom.
Uh-oh, somebody knows something.
Uh-oh.
Denise Williams was Stevie Wonder's backup singer for 7 years. Then she went on her own career.
Yeah.
She needed a band. I was in that band, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yes, that is
so,
so awesome. And thank you for sharing that. Anyways, we have a lot to talk about. John's music, his guitar skills, his journey, his experiences, and the books that he's authored through Hal Leonard.
That was my main focus, teaching while we settled down and raised our family. So it's hard to tour and be away from the house a lot when you have kids. So teaching became an important thing in my life. Kept me at home. It kept Dad available. You know?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really a blessing back to your family. Wow.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Yeah, all those lucky students.
Well, I ordered your book.
Oh, you're kidding. Thank you.
Oh, well, of course I did. I'm already thinking it's going to be way over my head, but
There's some funny stuff in there.
if I'm going to learn anything, I might as well learn it right and learn it from the master. So,
You could say I was a good teacher, master. I don't know. I'll take that humbly. Thank you.
okay, cool. All right, so let's kick this show off with one of your tunes.
Okay.
Who in the world?
That's a hillbilly rock thing that I used to play. I used to include one hillbilly song in my repertoire no matter what type of music I was playing, just to keep me connected. And that's what this song is.
Who makes the water brown, the sky gray, the trees fall down, Lord. It's not hard to say. Well, what you gonna do about that sound? Talk about my guitar. Gonna do when I come round. When I'm a big star, you wanna put me in the can? Tell 'em I'm not a man. Will the world go astray? It's not hard to say. Well, what you gonna do about that sound? Talk about the factory. Gonna do when I come round. You're gonna sack me, you're gonna put me in the can. Tell 'em I'm not a man. Will the world go astray? It's not hard to say. It's not hard to say. It's not hard to say. It's not hard to say.
Take that.
Exactly.
Thought it was going
There.
to explode. That was so awesome.
Put that in your earbuds when you get on the treadmill tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
All right. That's my challenge to you.
That was my son Vaughn on the drums, by the way.
Was it?
Awesome.
He's the one that sped up like that and took charge of the song. Yeah.
Well, you know what? It was a very slow increase in tempo. It didn't just happen boom to boom. It was like 8 to 12, 16 measures for each increase.
Yeah. He took his time.
Yeah. Woo. Okay, I just lost 5 pounds.
That was believe it or not, an ecological statement.
Was it really?
Yeah, it was a statement about people messing up nature and stuff like that. And then when someone comes along and complains about it, they bottle them up and lock them up to get them to shut up.
Wow. Yeah.
That's what that song's about.
And we have a caller. Let's see who's
Oh,
on
yeah.
the line. Oh, no. Whoever was calling just now, call back. We want to talk to you. All right. John Heussenstamm
Heussenstamm, yeah.
in the studio with us. We are crazy blessed tonight to have back-to-back talent on the show. And was that you also on vocals?
Yes. I wrote that song. It's called Who in the World. And that was me on vocals, and I played the guitar and the bass and a few things.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. We got
Awesome.
another caller.
We do have another caller. Let's see if we can grab this one. Thank you for calling KOCI. This is Michaela on Ground Zero Radio. Who am I speaking with?
Janice.
Hi, Janice. How are you tonight?
I'm very well, thank you.
Good. And what can we help you with?
I was wanting to call in to ask John a question.
Okay, Janice, fire away.
I'm curious about how you get your inspiration. Does it just pop in with words?
Oh,
or
boy,
does the
that's a
music
loaded
come
question.
first?
Well, there's a lot to that. Whether people believe me or not, when I was very young, I thought to myself, well, if I could play the guitar well enough to get God's attention, is that a good answer? I mean,
I think
That's a great answer. I mean, so you obviously got his attention, but
Yeah.
so do you work at it note by note, or does it just flood in as though, oh my gosh, I have to write this down or play it or something?
yeah, all the above. It comes. You can't predict when you're going to get inspiration. I'm on my way to a gig and I'm in a hurry, and I write a song called "Hurried Laundry Blues" because my clothes are dirty. And that song that we were just listening to was because I was very concerned about, the environmental impact that factories and pollution had, and it's just a hillbilly that's complaining about it. That's all. So there's inspiration there, But truly, I really wanted to play well enough, and whenever there was an interest in something that I was doing, I'd always stop and I'd say, "Thank you, Lord, for creating some sort of interest."
Yeah.
Well,
Well, you have a great talent.
Thank
so
you.
Really appreciate it.
I appreciate you.
No.
Thank you for calling, Janice. Have a great
Thank you.
evening.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye. All right. That was nice. That was nice to hear from Janice.
That was personal. Jeez.
Well,
Thank you, Janice.
people want to get to know you personally. So, what's your favorite color?
My favorite color?
Yes.
That's horrible. I mean, I love color. There was a rainbow above the studio when I was in the south sky. And
Just
what is
now?
it? It's the last day of July, and there was a rainbow from rain in the south. So I love all those colors. But,
Great answer. I love your answer.
I mean, come on. Great colors are colors, right?
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And what an amazing career you've had as a guitar player. And I can't think of, what you said to Janice when you were talking on the phone about you wanted to play well enough for God to like it or listen or pay attention.
Yeah.
I can't think of a better goal. Wow.
Well, it seems to be working.
Yes.
And I've been very lucky. Yeah. Someone's looking after me.
Yes, sir. All right. Next up in our playlist, song number 2, Let's Do It.
This is a jazz trio that I used to play with a lot. Leo Vigil on drums and Baba Elefante on the bass. Very well-known local musicians. And the three of us would get together and play, and we just had to make a recording sooner or later. And this is a blues, but it's jazz-based blues. Hey, let's do it.
Is the tape running?
You want to do all blues or just play some blues?
1, 2, 1, 2.
Hey, hey, hey. How about that smooth groove?
Kenny Burrell's birthday today. He's a very famous jazz guitarist.
Happy birthday.
He is in his 90s. He was a professor at UCLA. Kenny Burrell, one of my first inspirations.
Nice.
Thank you, Kenny.
Awesome.
Thank you, Kenny, for inspiring John,
Exactly.
which spilled over to inspiring us. Thank you for
All
that
right.
groove. Yeah, so I'm really glad that you sent over a variety of music because you don't just fit into one pocket. There's multiple things going on here with John Heussenstamm,
Yeah.
including phone calls that are coming in.
Okay.
Check this out.
Oh, we got a couple coming.
Thank you for calling. This is Ground Zero Radio. This is Michaela. Who am I speaking with?
Yeah, this is Surfer Rick, and I heard West Montgomery and just all sorts of good sounds in that. And I'm going to the Harp Inn. I wish you could bring the music to the Harp Inn here in Costa Mesa.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I am there once a month on a Sunday with the Golden Butter Review.
Oh,
Excellent.
John
Excellent.
Garner's band.
yes.
Excellent. I'm glad to hear that. I'll come and see you.
Thank
That'd be
you.
great.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to go hear some comedy and make some laughs.
All right. Thank you for calling.
Thank you for entertaining me.
Sure.
Wonderful talent.
Thank you.
sir.
Thank you for calling Ground Zero Radio. This is Michaela. Who am I speaking with?
Bill,
Hey, Bill. What's up?
well, I just wanted to talk about John Heussenstamm a little bit.
Oh,
Are you qualified? Who is this, Bill?
I'm qualified. I just want to say, John, in my opinion, is sort of a great treasure for those of us who live in Orange County. And if you haven't seen him live and listened to him play live, you don't know what you're missing.
Hey,
And I
cut
don't know
that
if
out.
John's
Thank you.
allowed to- I don't know if John's allowed to tell you or plug him where you can see him, but you're really
yeah.
missing out if you don't take the opportunity to go hear John play in one of his live venues.
Well, it's good of us, or good of you, excuse me, to remind us that we should at least make a few announcements
Oh,
about
yeah,
where
absolutely.
I'm playing, because I'm way too humble for advertising. I should really wave my own flag more, but I tend not to. But thank you, Bill. What a guy.
yes. Thank you so much for calling in. We have another caller on the line that would like to talk to the one and only John Heussenstamm.
Who
Hi.
is this?
Thank you so much for calling in. Are you still there?
Yes,
Hi. Who are we speaking
Hi.
with?
this is Steve.
How you doing?
Doing great.
And what can we help you with?
Well, I just wanted to say hello to John, and I had a question for him.
Okay, Steve. I hope I'm ready for this question.
Yeah, you better be. Well, listen, we've obviously been very, very lucky over the years to hear you play in a number of different settings, and whether it's jazz, whether it's blues, whether it's rock and roll, whether it's a combination of all of the above. I'm just curious, from the jazz perspective, who was the musician or musicians that influenced you the most to get to where you are playing jazz guitar, and what's your favorite jazz guitar?
Well, I don't really have a favorite jazz guitarist, but I can tell you an early Pat Martino album called Desperado, where he played an electric 12-string guitar. And then there was, of course, Wes Montgomery, to me, made the greatest jazz recordings by playing with orchestra and Oliver Nelson. So he went from like a quartet or a quintet setting, or even trios with organ trios. And suddenly they said, well, this guy's such a great guitarist, let's put him in with an orchestra. And those first recordings that he made with the orchestra just shows you the depth that the jazz guitar had, this incredible potential to harmonize and blend nicely with all the other instruments in the orchestra. So Wes Montgomery, Pat Martino, especially George Benson. And I do have a quick George Benson story. When I was playing at the Oak Grill at the Island Hotel here in the Fashion Island, George Benson was staying at the hotel, and he was playing at the Newport Jazz Festival at the same time. And he came into the lobby when I was playing there, and he gave me some nice compliments. And that was probably the highest moment of my career, is to have George Benson personally listen to me and then tell me that he liked what I was doing.
Wow.
So and the catapult for that whole story really is when I was about 16. I was driving down the freeway, newly inspired, recently inspired, let's say, to become a jazz guitarist, and I was listening to the Long Beach Jazz radio station, and this guitar came on, and I just heard it, and I go, that's the guy I want to sound like. This guy is incredible. Well, it was George Benson. So yeah, those guys.
Yeah.
Well, we've enjoyed all of the years of listening to you at various places, and Nights on Broadway is also one of my favorites that you do about as well as George does.
Oh, cut it out. Don't say that. George will come after me with a hatchet. Cut my fingers off.
Well, thanks, John. We really appreciate your talent, and looking forward to seeing you next time.
Appreciate it wholeheartedly. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you for calling, Steve.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Hey, ringing the phone lines. I love to see it. We love to hear more about John, and great questions, everyone.
Yeah, they're really pushing it.
Super great questions. All right, we got another song coming up titled I'm So-So.
This is a kind of a country blues. All the production was done at my house, and I think it's Leo Vigil again playing drums, but all the rest of the instruments and vocals and writing, I did all that.
Cool.
Yeah.
No get up and go. I'm a little low. No get up and go. If you ask me and want to know, I'm so-so. She left me without coffee or milk for my Cheerios. Where's that woman gone to? With all my heart and I'm a little low. No get up and go. I'm a little low. No get up and go. If you ask me and want to know, I'm so-so. Now the rumor has it she shacked up with a pal, probably having a party. I'm lonely without my gal. I'm a little low. No get up and go. I'm a little low. No get up and go. If you ask me and want to know, I'm so-so. No
forgot to mention something.
Uh-oh. What?
A very good drummer, friend of mine, Cash McCoy, he helped me with some of those words and helped me write that song. Finish it, basically. Cash McCoy.
Shout out to
guy
Cash.
from Nashville, Texas. One of those kind of guys.
One of those kind of guys.
Yes.
Well, shout out to Cash McCoy.
Hey, Cash, thanks for helping.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Dad.
I like the washing the hair thing is a real thing.
Yeah, she wouldn't. She had nothing to do with me when it comes to washing her hair. Nothing to do with me at all.
Yeah. Yes. Is it real? I like the guy. I don't know. I'm picturing in my mind. I'm picturing like a barbershop quartet guys singing behind you.
More like a bunch of guys at a bar trying to
Yes.
sing. You mean rebel rousing and rocking together, and they're just clunking into each other. Yeah, big mugs of beer like that. Yeah,
I love that.
That's what it's supposed to kind of engender, or whatever the word is I'm looking for.
It did exactly. I had it all pictured.
Yeah, that's what I was visualizing.
I'm ready for the video.
As if I've never spent any time in those kind of places.
Nah.
Oh man.
So, well, other than what is on your written bio and your Wikipedia page, by the way, you want to learn more about John, check him out on Wikipedia. But first of all, besides what's written there, what else could we know about John that's not so obviously written into a bio or Wikipedia?
I think I went to extremes, to try to be good, that a lot of people don't understand, So like, for example, when I wanted to make a transition after being a bass player, I started playing the bass when I was 9 years old. So from the time I was 9 till I left high school, I was always the bass player in all the bands, but I wanted to become a guitarist, right? Because a friend of mine, Kirk Roberts, said, geez, you'd make a great guitar player. Well, he shouldn't have said that to me, because I wanted to become a guitarist as soon as he said that to me, because I never had that dream, right? So I got in a VW camper with my brother Paul, and for 3 months we were in Mexico, and all I did was play the guitar to try to make this transition, right? So I really put in the hours. While he was driving, I was practicing. When we were camping, it just was relentless, right? And when I got back, the first group that I got an audition for, I made the audition. So right away I was playing in bands, right? But it was that 3 months, where I just said, okay, you have no excuse. You have the time to do this, so you better put in the hours and make it happen. You're not a bass player anymore. You're a guitar player. What does that mean? That kind of. And it goes even farther than that. When I wanted to, I got interested in the Beatles. I got interested in Mahavishnu Orchestra because they had Indian music influences. I went to India, so. I was at the Sri Aurobindo Ashram for a month studying Indian music with a Bansarai or flautist. I don't know, Indian Bansarai is a bamboo flute, right? But that was the beginning of my Indian influence, traditional Indian music, which it's not guessing how to do it when you're with somebody who's like a master or a great teacher.
Right.
Then you're right there. It's like they hear you playing, you go, that's not how you do it. You got to do this, you got to do that, you got to learn this, you got to learn that. It's supposed to sound like this. So you really get culled. You really get a clear idea of what you're supposed to do in order to get that music going. So those are the kind of extremes I went to try to be good at what I do.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that. I love your dedication to your own art form.
I'll tell you what the worst one is.
Yeah, tell me. Oh my.
We do want to hear it.
So in Los Angeles, I was very busy playing music with, surf punks, Denise Williams. I was doing all these interesting things, and along comes Larry Carlton, who's very popular, playing on several albums with other, artists, and another great guitarist is Lee Rittenauer, and these guys, and there's another Carl Verheyen. These are great studio guitarists, but at the same time, they have their own sound as well. Really, really good musicians in general, right? Very intimidating to be around, these kind of guys with that much character, right? So I thought to myself, well, I'm going to have to, in order to compete, in order to be on that level and play at that, that incredible quality, right? I'm going to have to, pay my dues, so to speak. So I thought to myself, well, I can go to Australia and be with my brother Mark and, then do the same thing I did when I was in Mexico. I could focus myself and just, since I won't have anything to do but practice, I can get better at the guitar that way in isolation, right? The one thing that I didn't count on happening was the Australian audience was incredibly demanding. Like if I got up there and I didn't put every iota of what it was I was supposed to do as an entertainer, I would have to pay the price. People would really, say, I won't say on the radio what they would say to me, but I had to really come to the table and really deliver in order to actually get accepted by, an Australian audience, especially because I'm an American. That's one strike against you, down there. So they taught me what it means to really put it out, put it out there. And if you're not always coming from your best, your very best, if you don't prove to them you put in your best effort, right, they would let you know, right? It was, okay, get that guy, take him out in the parking lot. we paid $15, mate, for this that you've been doing. Forget it, man. We want our money back, that kind of thing.
Right. Well, you know what? That's not a bad story. That's a good story.
Yeah.
Ultimately, right?
Ultimately, yeah, but it was tough.
But I think that does separate. I think those qualities that audience was demanding out of you, that does separate the shallow artist from the artist that is really going to give it their all and wear their heart on their sleeve and bleed, basically.
Pay their dues.
Yeah, they wouldn't let you...
wouldn't get away with less.
No.
Can't get away with less.
And the funniest thing was when I set out to try to be a professional musician in Australia, which at first I was just there to go surfing, be with my family, taking a break from Hollywood, all that kind of stuff. And when I first decided I was going to go out and, start gigging around Australia, the first gig, one of my brother's friends came up to me and says, I was expecting something like Led Zeppelin or Hendrix or Cream or something like that, mate. God. It was like I was playing these, commercial songs and some Motown, and I didn't know what to play. I didn't know what they were going to like, but they wanted the hardest hitting, AC/DC.
Right.
They wanted to have their butts kicked, and I didn't do it at the first couple of times I played. I had to realize what was going on. Yeah, these guys they really want to hear something. I better step it up.
Well, and that is what makes the story ultimately good, because it did push you to step it up.
Yeah,
and you are loved and admired by many. Wasn't kidding earlier when I said I bought your book because I wanted to learn from the master, and I know it's going to be over my head, but if I don't,
there's some nuggets in there.
And I need those nuggets, and I need to spend 3 months or more like you did, just probably on page 1. So
a guy came into the guitar shop. I work at the guitar shop in Laguna Beach, California, right? It's right nearby, right? A guy came in who had got my book, He sat down and he goes, look at this. And he just started playing the guitar, and I go, that's not in my book. He says, yeah, but I used all the stuff, and I put it all together, and I put Well, there was a guy, Eric Warnock, I think it was him. He's a professor of music who did a review of my book, and he said, well, this book is going to generate new ways to play the guitar. And that was never what I set out to do. I was just showing everybody examples of how sound works and how to study the guitar and how to understand what it can do, But I wasn't planning on a guy like that to come in and actually play some incredible stuff And I go, that's not in my book, you know. But he got the ideas and the inspiration from the book. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So there is hope.
Yeah, you bet.
There is hope.
Hope for me, hopefully.
That's awesome. Next up, we're going to listen to Blues Guy. Is this you on vocals as well?
This is similar to I'm So in the fact that the production's all at my house. And this is Leo again on the drums. Yeah. Yeah. Blues Guy.
Cool.
Yeah.
Listen to me, I can't be what I'm not. I'll never be a doctor, dentist or a cop. Try to make a living, being everything under the sun. But when it comes to working, I get nothing done. Walk the streets at night, pray for easier times. Stood among the homeless, begged for nickels and dimes. There ain't nothing doing except making the guitar cry. Sliding down the ladder, it's do or die. I'm just a blues guy. I'm just a blues guy. I'm just a blues guy. And I'm playing. Gigging up in Reno, then off to Lake Tahoe. Sounds like a vacation, but I'm in it for the dough. I'm going where it takes me, the axe is by my side. No doubt about it, that's my alibi. I'm just a blues guy. 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 You know.
Some hilarious lines in that song. I'm gonna call my friends in Reno and Lake Tahoe and ask them if they're in it for the dough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
eventually, if you play enough, you tire, but at the same time, you have to keep going. You have to keep earning a living if you want to keep the music going.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. You are so right. How can people get a hold of you that want to learn more about you, buy your music, buy your books, etc.?
You can always email me at JohnHGuitar.com. Wait a minute. JohnsGuitar@hotmail.com. That one I accept. Forget that other one. I don't want you on that line. Okay. JohnsGuitar@hotmail.com. Bring it.
Bring it.
Yeah.
All right, we got a caller on the line.
Okay.
Thank you for calling into Ground Zero Radio. Who are we speaking with?
Hi, this is John Garner.
John!
Hi, Michaela.
Why aren't you here playing some harp, brother?
How are you?
I'm good.
You sound beautiful.
Oh, thank you. I know you didn't call to talk to me. You're going to talk to the other John. John, this is John.
Yeah, I know this.
Hi, John.
Hey, John. Thanks for calling in. What's up?
I just wanted to call and say hi, and I tell you I'm kind of exhausted from trying to keep up with you yesterday. And I love the songs that you've chosen for your show.
Oh,
fantastic!
I keep
I hope
telling
you teach me some of them sometime.
Good idea.
Thank you.
I have a vault. I have a vault of original blues songs, and many that haven't been completed. Lots of them that have been written but never performed or completed. Actually,
well, they're pretty awesome.
Thank you.
Just wanted to call and say hi to both of you, and great show.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
All
John.
right.
Good on you, John.
Okay.
Good to hear from you.
Take care, you guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, that was nice.
That was very nice.
Thank you, John.
Yeah, that's cool. John Garner.
Good harmonica player.
Wow. And yes, right?
Very good.
And you guys play together. Give us everybody the information on that.
Yeah, we've been. Well, this is John's idea. He's got a band. They're the Golden Butter Review. They play, at least monthly at the Harp Inn in Costa Mesa on 17th Street. And I've been the kind of special guest for a few months. That's John. That doesn't make any sense. You can't be the special guest over and over and over again. They're treating me like a band member now, but that was never in the
contract.
Not originally. But I've been showing up whenever he's invited me because the music's so fun.
Yeah. Awesome. A nice guy too. Thank you so much,
John's
John Garner.
A super guy.
Yeah. Yep. And where else let's talk some more about where else you're going to be playing over the next month too.
Well, there's a bass player. His name's Jason Brown. He's a good friend of mine.
Yes.
He played with Hank 3 for 7 years or something. He's just a professional bass player that lives here in Orange County. And we opened a Mexican restaurant in San Juan called Don Juan's. It's right next to the train station, next to Trevor's, next to the. It's actually right in the same building as the theater that's on Verdugo.
Oh, okay, sure.
Yeah. And we did their opening show, and we're still there, playing Wednesdays and Saturdays. From 9 to 7. It's like we were supposed to play once, and now they've booked us 2 nights a week. Yeah, so Wednesdays and Saturdays from 7 to 9 at Don Juan's in
San Juan.
In San Juan, thanks. And then the other place where I play once a month at the Cliff in Laguna Beach.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We're there the third Friday of every month with the Country Blues Band.
Yes.
And that's with
awesome.
Jason on bass, Ray Weston on the drums, a Scottish drummer who's fantastic. Used to play with, here we go. Now I test my memory. Forget it. It's Ray Weston on the drums. And then on the steel guitar is Ben Wagner, who plays with a group called The Great North, right? And he's a fantastic musician and friend of mine. So we get a real good, authentic country sound when he's there. So that's the 4 of us. Third Friday of every month at the Cliff in Laguna Beach from 7 to 10.
Awesome.
How did you get that out of me?
I just love just twisting things out of these artists that come in here. Where are you playing? Tell me.
Yeah,
like it's a secret. Or?
I think the band that Ray Weston used to play in was Wishbone Ash.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Cool.
So that's a bit of notoriety there.
Yeah,
as close as that, I used to not for very long, but I played with Jackie Lomax. He was the first artist on Apple Records. Produced by the Beatles, yeah.
Oh.
I was in his band for a short while. Didn't really, I think he just put together one one show to do a presentation at the Troubadour, and I think that's all he had in mind, because nothing else came out of it after that. So sorry.
Gotcha. And shout out to Jason Brown, now that you mention it.
Yeah, Jason.
Hey, Jason. Shout out to Jason Brown. He's oh man, don't let me, somebody else say this word for me. He repairs stand-up basses. And there's a terminology for that.
Luthier.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
He's an expert.
Yes, he is. And he also plays with Kayla Kramer. Kayla Kramer, we are missing you, dear. Come and see us. And in the studio right now is John Heussenstamm.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask you if you would please pronounce the next song we're going to hear and tell us a little bit about it.
Saiwan is an Indian word. I think Punjabi. It might be Hindi, Punjabi. It's a monsoon, word for monsoon rains. And there's a great mystic in India, Saiwan Singh, who was a deep meditation teacher, so to speak. And this is inspired by him.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, let's check it out.